In 2013, I very proactively stopped using the term mainstream media when referring to corporate media, and I started exclusively using the term corporate media. The reason for that was the corporate media simply do not represent mainstream American views. They present 50-50 attitudes on uncontroversial issues. They present climate change as a 50-50 debate. They represent primarily large corporate interests rather than individuals and middle class and lower class people. So I said, there's nothing mainstream about what we used to call mainstream media. We're going to call it corporate media. I am now going to issue another decree, Lewis, for myself, really. I'm the only person who is going to be subject to this decree, and hopefully Lewis will pay attention to it too. When we talk about abortion, I am no longer going to use the term pro-life. I might say self-described pro-life, and I'm actually not even going to use the term anti-choice exclusively like I've been using. I'm going to use the term pro-birth, okay? And the reason for this is very clear, that those who describe themselves, the so-called pro-life movement, is very much in favor, typically, of the death penalty. There's nothing pro-life about that. They are not in favor of properly funding education and properly funding healthcare, things which are necessary to lead a better life. There's nothing pro-life about that. They are simply about births. They want births. They are pro-birth, Lewis. So from now on, I am going to call the anti-abortion position what it really is, which is a pro-birth position. They really care about births. And then after that, once those births have taken place, they don't really care that much about the lives that those kids live, whether they may have been born into poverty or whatever else the case may be. If they join the military, there's really nothing pro-life about sending troops into harm's way based on faulty intelligence or when it really doesn't make sense. That's not pro-life. They're just pro-birth.
That all makes perfect sense. But I see one major flaw with this.
Yeah.
And that is just the wording. You see, if they are pro-birth and you are on the opposite side of the issue, they're going to say that you are anti-birth.
Right. Well, that may be true. Okay, so maybe we have to think about this a little bit more. But so maybe we call it, and I'm opening this up to the audience, maybe we call it the pro-birth anti-choice movement, or I don't know.
Pro-fetus.
Yeah, they're pro-fetus. That maybe that's better. Lewis, I think you may have just upended it. Maybe it's not pro-birth. Maybe it's pro-fetus. But you could always say the same thing. Well, then isn't somebody on the other side an anti-fetus person?
Well, I mean, being anti-fetus isn't as bad as being anti-birth, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, now you're making me question this. Well, okay, listen. That's the idea. I want to come up with some better language to talk about the abortion issue. So pro-birth, pro-fetus, pro-birth anti-choice, whatever you want. Let me know what you think it should be. And then we'll keep working on this thing, Lewis. But that's one thing I want to work on for this year.